The 2025 season was noteworthy for Rays minor league catcher Tatem Levins.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Rays podcast. Locked On Rays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And we are Kevin and Ulises.
And we are lifelong Rays fans who have been podcasting about the Tampa Bay Rays since 2019.
Later on today's show, we speak to Tampa Bay Rays catching prospect Tatem Levins about the mental and physical challenges of handling elite pitchers and calling games. In a few minutes, Levins opens up about his unique journey to professional baseball. But to start, the all-star prospect shares his incredible story behind his viral Inside the Park Grand Slam.
And we're going to talk about all of that thanks to Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase.
And today, Ulises, we have the pleasure of speaking with Montgomery Biscuits catcher Tatem Levins. Just wrapped up his season, and Ulises, it was a very impressive season, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And Tatem, we got to get started with the hardware. They just announced the All-Star nominations after the season, and you came up on that list. How did that feel to get your name announced?
First off, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. It's an awesome opportunity. But yeah, that just came out a few days ago, and it was a really good year. I know the ending didn't quite end the way that we wanted it to, but it was really cool seeing myself get recognized at the end of the season.
Of course. And I'll tell you what, Tatem, before we scheduled this interview, we did some deep Googling, if you will, and we found that you went viral pretty much, not just baseball, but I think the entire sports nation for an Inside the Park Grand Slam. I believe that was back in August, not just by, a speedy shortstop or center fielder, but a catcher. What was that like for you in that moment? And then all the fame that came with us. Just take us back into that situation, if you will.
It was kind of a crazy situation. Obviously, bases loaded. It was a big situation in the game, and I ended up getting a slider over the middle of the plate, hit it pretty well. And the Montgomery field is kind of interesting where they have the gates out in right center field. So there's kind of these metal poles that stick out by like the yellow padding. And I mean, it hit perfectly off that metal pole. It kicked out in the center field. And I mean, I was hustling out of the box because the ball doesn't really fly that much in the Southern League. So I was really hustling and saw the ball go really far away and kind of made up my mind going around second base. Like, yeah, I'm going to go for this. And, I ended up making it. And the next day I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And I was getting, I think, my coffee in the morning, and I get a notification on my phone, like MLB tagged you in a post. And at first I'm like, okay, like this is probably like an alternate account. It's not like the real MLB. Yeah. And I opened it up and I'm like, oh crap, this is kind of crazy now. And then next thing you know, I'm getting texts all over the place. People are tagging me in it, sending me it. And it was unbelievable how viral that went.
Now, in that moment, obviously, you're completely focused in on the game. And I really like the detail there, a slider that was kind of hung there. Does that, when you hit that and you're thinking, okay, I've got a chance here, is there any fear in the head of I am risking it, right? Because like even don't make the out at third or at home, and now you're running. Is there any fear, or is it you're so focused that that's not even a thought?
I want to say maybe it was a thought rounding second base. Like, am I going to have an opportunity at this? And my first instinct was like, yeah, I'm going for it. And it kind of just stuck with me. Like, yeah, I'm going to make this happen right here. And then live or die with the outcome at the home plate. And that. I think the ball got away a little bit and I ended up sliding in there safe, but it was awesome.
No, that was an awesome moment. And I've played it a couple times because I couldn't believe it at first. And then I saw it again. And I was like, oh, wow. And then the fact that I'm sure it's had millions and millions of views, but the one clip that I saw on YouTube had like 7 million views. So with all that, did you see like your Instagram followers bump up? Did you get a bunch of messages from there? Was there like some ongoing fame from that moment that happened?
Definitely a few messages here and there, and definitely a few followers on Twitter and Instagram. It was kind of crazy to see as soon as they posted it, just the amount of notifications I was getting off those apps immediately.
Awesome. Yeah, nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody can, and it's all over when you put your name on any search engine. But let's go back, Tatum, to your beginnings. What is your relationship with baseball? When did that start? Was it a family member? Was it just watching it on TV? Like, how did that love for baseball grow to the fact that now you're a professional, getting paid to play baseball?
Well, I was kind of like every typical kid growing up. I was playing a bunch of sports, whether it was football, soccer, basketball, baseball, swimming. I was a swimmer most of my life as well, going into high
Mm.
school. And those were the two sports I really played going in the high school. I left football behind after middle school, and those were the two sports I really wanted to focus on. And I think maybe going into my sophomore year, and I had an idea that, yeah, I kind of want to play college baseball or have the opportunity to. I wasn't really the most highly recruited guy. I wasn't the best guy in high school. Like I played freshman ball in my freshman year, JV ball in my sophomore year, and then got a starting opportunity in my junior year. So everything really kind of fell into place through high school, and I ended up having an opportunity to go to LaSalle University, and that was my one Division 1 offer. So I ended up taking that opportunity to go there, and everything worked out the way it did.
Yeah, and then so just to backtrack a little bit, in high school, did you do swimming and baseball all 4 years, or did you kind of transition to baseball later in your high school career?
Yeah, I did both of those for all 4 years of high school. And
Okay,
technically, I think I was a better swimmer in high school.
really?
I was two-time All-State for swimming.
Holy
What,
cow!
okay, so that's
Yeah,
something we did not. Google did not help us with
yeah.
that.
Google
They
did not
did
help
help
with
us
that.
with swimming. I wanted to ask you about that. It's. I think you're the first player that we've had on here that did competitive swimming up to high school. I'm guessing you've got some Michael Phelps 2008 to 2012 memories that might have inkled your way into loving that sport. Like, what was your relationship with swimming then?
It was kind of something my parents pushed me to do a little bit when I was younger, and I kind of just never gotten away from it. And then I kind of kept beating everyone, even though I wasn't training year round. And then going into high school, it was something that I still enjoyed doing a lot, and it kept me in really good shape. And not the off season, obviously, being up north and it being cold out, and not being able to get outside year round, it kept me in really good shape. And yeah, I kind of love doing it.
Yeah, and there's actually one. We haven't had this person on the show, but there is one other actually Major League Baseball player that I knew of that was a really strong swimmer in high school, John Gant, here locally in Florida. And I was just curious do you think swimming and I mean, it's like a full body workout, and the old thing is like swimmers' bodies, they've got, great shoulders and a great build. Do you think swimming kind of helped translate to baseball as far as conditioning or athleticism in any way?
I want to attribute it to the shoulder health. Like I got
Okay.
some pretty decent shoulder width here, and I want to say definitely incorporate into my shoulder care that I do nowadays. I still try to get in the pool every once in a while, but I think that underlying just doing it throughout my life end up building the smaller muscles in my shoulder to keep them going for baseball.
There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, and you got to use Game Time. Why? Well, because it's actually fun to get tickets using Game Time. You know why? Because there's no surprise fees. That's my favorite part about Game Time. You don't just get stuck with all these fees at the end of the line that you didn't think that you would get. Okay? It's the price you see, that's the price that you pay. So take advantage and download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. So let's not do that. And you can avoid that by using Monarch Money. It's an all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or your phone, even when you're on the go and you want to know what's going on, you can just look at the Monarch Money app and there it is. So do not let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code Locked On MLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com using promo code Locked On MLB. No rotator cuff issues for Tatum. Knock on wood. Thank you
Yes.
very
Knock on wood.
much. I'll have all the rotator cuff issues for you, Tatum, because I'm currently trying to help one right here. Okay, so let's go into college. So you went to LaSalle University. You said that was your opportunity to play Division I. How was that jump in talent between the guys you're facing in high school? Which we've had players on here say, usually high school you see a couple guys that you're like, okay, these guys are good, but the rest you should be able to handle. That's probably not the same case for when you go to Division I.
Yeah, I want to say, especially my senior year in high school, we ended up losing in the state championship, and we played a team called St. Augustine out in New Jersey that year. And they had like 11, 12 Division I commits. I remember being MLB scouts at the games. And that was kind of the first time I was like, okay, this is like getting kind of real now. And this is when I was committed to LaSalle, and I started playing summer baseball that year for a collegiate league. Was it ABCA, or I don't know if they have the league anymore, but it was out in Jersey, and that was my first time playing against collegiate competition. And that was the first time I was like, oh crap, like these guys are throwing really hard now. The breaking balls are a lot sharper than in high school. And then that was kind of the first eye-opening experience. And going in the freshman year, I played here and there to start the season and ended up getting a bigger role kind of due to injury, and then playing well myself, and kind of took it off from there and didn't look back.
Yeah. And then, LaSalle, I learned that I guess after your junior season, they cut the sport of baseball. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah, right after COVID, we had the unfortunate situation of them cutting us, as well as I think it was 4 or 5 other sports programs.
Okay. But you were still able to continue your baseball career going to the University of Pittsburgh. How did that all work out? Were you like sending your film and your stats left and right, or did they kind of search you out once the LaSalle baseball program got cut? Basically, how you wound up from LaSalle to Pitt?
Well, I kind of had a pretty decent 2 full seasons when I was at LaSalle University, and a couple decent seasons in summer ball going up to it. Nothing in the Cape Cod until after I was leaving LaSalle. But I kind of had a good idea even before going into that junior season that I either wanted to go ACC or SEC and really up the competition and try to prove myself that I could play at the next level. Because really after my freshman year, I was like, okay, I think I have an opportunity to keep this going and play it at the professional level potentially. So going into the summer ball after my junior year at LaSalle, that was when I was kind of talking to schools like University of Pittsburgh, and then going to the Cape Cod and playing there as well.
Did you notice another jump once you went to Pitt in either competition or the people that you were surrounded by just had a little bit more knowledge? They had a little bit more influence on your game?
I would say the summer before going to Pitt, after I left LaSalle, I went to the Cape Cod and played in the Summer Collegiate League there. That was a real eye-opening experience for me. Every single arms throw, it was pretty much low A professional ball. Every arms throw 94, 95, nasty breaking stuff, guys running up to 100. And it's not the best conditions up there. I mean, it's amazing baseball, but like the lights aren't the best, the umpires aren't the best. So it really ups the stakes there a lot. So that was a real like test of like, oh crap, like 240 hitting there is really good apparently. So that was a real eye opening there. And then obviously going to Pitt, playing in the ACC. I mean, absolutely loaded conference with teams, and that was a really good experience playing there as well.
Yeah, and you dominated at Pitt, and before you know it, you're getting a call by the Seattle Mariners to play professional baseball. Can you take us into that moment a little bit? And I actually heard a funny story that when you got a call from the Mariners, you thought it was an insurance agent instead of the Mariners. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, that's awesome that you knew that. Going into the draft day, I mean, I had an idea of a few teams that were looking at me, like the hometown Phillies here, Pittsburgh, the Yankees, a few other teams, but I never had any connection with the Seattle Mariners going into it. And I was actually just getting home from hanging with some buddies playing golf, trying to take my mind off the draft and everything like that. And I got a call from the area code that I'm from. And it wasn't a number I had saved or anything. So I'm like, oh, it's probably just like, oh, your car's extended warranty or something like that. And I pick it up, and it's the regional scout from Seattle, who's actually from my area. I didn't even know that beforehand. And his son I ended up playing against at Virginia Tech as well. That was Cade Hunter, and the scout was Scott Hunter. But they're apparently from my area, and that was kind of funny seeing the 267 number pop up. And I was like, who's this?
Yeah. You would think that like nowadays with technology and everything, that when you get a call like that, it would say Seattle Mariners, or
Yeah,
right.
there'd be some kind of identification. Because when it's your area code and you don't recognize the number, you think like 99% of the time it's spam, or you're trying to get ripped off or something like that. So, that was crazy. And then you
Hold up. I want more details, because I really love draft stories. It's draft stories and getting the call to the big leagues. I think when athletes talk about that, it's like the best. So let me dig deeper on this draft.
Go ahead.
So, okay, insurance, not insurance, Seattle Mariners. Holy crap! My first part of the dream is here. I'm going to be a bleeping professional. What do you do after you hang up that phone? Like, you just like, who do I call? Who do I go to? Like, what happened?
It was really funny, actually. So I was upstairs in my room when they called. So I'm going through the whole process of talking with them, and we don't even have anything agreed upon yet. And then downstairs, I think my mom was watching the draft tracker, and my name popped up already. And then, so my mom starts screaming, my dad starts screaming. I'm upstairs on the phone already, and the next thing you know, like I get off the phone, they're waiting outside my door. It's all hugs, crying, like congratulations, all that.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
And then before you know it, I guess you have to report to the West Coast for minor league baseball, because it's the Mariners. So was that something you had ever been to the West Coast? Was it kind of like a culture shock having to go out west to start?
So really, that was my first time like going out west. I played in New Mexico once my freshman year when I was at LaSalle, but that was the only other time I ever went west. Furthest west before that was Texas. So that was really my first like time ever seeing In-N-Out Burger and that kind of thing. So immediately after I get off the flight, I'm getting In-N-Out, like, oh, I gotta try this for the first time. I mean, I really liked Arizona. The spring training there and like Glendale and all those areas is really beautiful being there the first time. And obviously my first year in with Seattle, I was in Lowe out in California. Never been there before. Interesting state, but really beautiful and got a lot of character to it.
The NFL season is here. Kevin is psyched, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. That's $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Sounds like a pretty good deal, people. And what makes FanDuel amazing is that it's quick, easy, and it's the best way to add a little green Skittles on your Sunday that you don't know where to put them. Well, you can use FanDuel for that. You got same game parlays, even jumping in live as the action unfolds. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Yeah, and I'm seeing your numbers right now in 22 and 23. I mean, you did wonderful stuff there. Was it the competition any more difficult than you thought it was? Did it exceed expectations? Did you find yourself going like, I can do this with these guys? Like, I'm putting up the numbers that people want to have to keep going to the next level.
It was definitely a mix of both of those. I mean, as soon as I get there, I'm catching some guys all throwing 95, 99 with nasty sink or nasty ride on everything. So I'm just like seeing this, like, holy crap, like these are the best arms I've seen. But then I slowly come to realize like it's the fine tuning of those skills that what separates all these guys, and the ability to throw strikes or the pitch ability or the guys' plans in the box. That's what really separates everyone when they get to this level. Everyone has an enormous amount of skill when you get to professional baseball, but it's kind of the smaller things that will really separate everyone at each level.
Now, was it always catcher for you? Did you ever try to say, you know what, and in little league or maybe even high school, or did it always just kind of speak to you, that position being behind the dish?
So I got a funny story with that. I played a few first base here. I have a couple outfield innings, maybe in high school or something like that, but really just first base and catcher for me. But growing up, I was kind of a little chubby little kid at first. So in little league, they kind of just threw me back there and they said, have at it. And I kind of just never left.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it seems like there's been a lot of changes. They start at the minor league level and now get shifted to the major league level, like with the ABS system and all that. How does that impact you at all as far as some of these rules changes? And it seems like in some ways they're making it more difficult on the catcher.
100%. I mean, at my level this year, I didn't really see anything with that, with the ABS or anything, but I know they're implementing that at more levels. And I think next year they were even talking about that in the big leagues now, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm a fan for the challenge system. I think I like that in terms of just for myself catching, like if I know that's a strike, being able to challenge that, or if the pitcher thinks it's there as even as a hitter, if I think it's a ball, challenging that. I don't know how I'd feel about a full automated strike zone. I just think that takes away way too much value
Yeah.
from a catcher, especially like the framing runs valued. If you look at someone like Patrick Bailey at the
Mhm.
major league level, he gets an enormous amount of his value from that, and
Right.
he's rightfully so. He's the best framer in professional baseball right now.
Yeah. And they're making it harder to throw runners out because they're enlarging the bases too.
Oh,
It seems like they're doing a little bit of
100%,
everything.
100%.
Yeah,
So
there's a conspiracy here against catchers. I don't know, Manfred didn't like a catcher or something. With these whole new advancements in technology, and I like that we can talk about that with somebody who is involved in every single pitch. Have you noticed how, as you go up from high school to college to Pitt, and obviously now in the minor league system with two organizations, have you noticed that those scouting reports have gotten thicker and thicker and thicker, or has it just been kind of easy to handle so far, that the scouting information that you get as a catcher?
I would say my first year, it was definitely pretty minimal being in low A. I think they
Mhm.
maybe took back some of the data that they would give guys at the higher levels just because we were a little bit younger and getting into professional baseball at the time. But definitely the heat maps for where like their slugging percentages are on certain pitches, or what they say they're a big OO taker. They don't swing a lot, so just get me over strike or something like that. But definitely as I move up in the levels, okay, there's a lot more game playing to this. But the Rays are kind of unique a little bit in the situation that they're very steadfast and our pitcher is better than that hitter, so their stuff is going to beat him on any day.
Mm. No, that's good to know. And kind of
Yeah.
transitioning to that, you were traded to the Rays from the Mariners. I believe a guy who has been on the show before, Blake Hunt, was a part of that deal. For you, Tatum, what was it? What went through your mind when you heard that? Okay, I'm going from the Seattle organization to the Tampa Bay organization.
I gotta be honest, I was extremely excited because all I've ever heard was that the Rays do not lose trades, and I've heard that all over the place. So I was like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm excited for this now. I want to make this another winner for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you get the call. How does that happen? I want the behind the scenes. You get the call from, I'm guessing, the Seattle Mariners saying, "Hey, we love what you do, but we just traded you." You probably then got a call from the Rays and probably say, "Hey, we love that guy, but we love you more. Come over here." How does the bureaucracy, the administrative stuff happen? Do you have a lease? I mean, the team takes care of that. You have a card. You pack it all in a box. Do you wait for your Amazon Prime to get there and then take the car? Like, walk us through that situation.
So I kind of had a different situation than guys that were traded during the season. I know that would be absolutely hectic. Like if you finish a
Mhm.
game one day, it's like, okay, you're getting traded, you're going off to another city across the country. But mine was during the off season, so I didn't really like. I already did all my postseason like interviews with the like all our coordinators and everything. So I was kind of in like no contact stage a little bit, and
Okay.
apparently the trade deadline just started either that day or the day before that.
Mm.
And funny thing is, I was at my training facility out in Chester County, and I was driving back. And when I'm driving, my phone goes on do not disturb, so I'm not looking at it or anything.
Mhm.
And I didn't get any of the phone calls. So I was driving for 50 minutes, and I pull into my driveway, and I got like 20 missed phone calls. I
Oh
got a
my gosh.
bajillion texts, and apparently the news broke on Twitter, like a Jeff Passan tweet, and everyone at my facility found out about it before I did. When I was on the road driving. So when I was getting there, I'm seeing all these missed calls, texts, and then I saw the one text from my buddy like, "Oh, like congrats going to the Rays," and I was like, "Oh crap! Like, is this what's happening right now?" And then I called back to coordinators too at the Mariners, and kind of like how you put it, like, "Hey, thanks for everything. Like, you had a great season. Here, I'm gonna put you in contact with a bunch of guys from the Rays org. Like, they're gonna give you calls." And that was a real hectic next like 2-3 days, getting on phone calls, Zoom calls with a bunch of the coaches and
Mm.
coordinators.